Hey, NPCs are one of the most important aspects of D&D. They help set the style, tone, and story for your campaign, but a lot of tables share the same problem: boring and bland NPCs. So today, we're going to talk about how to make your NPCs more interesting, and I'm going to give you some strange NPCs I've used in my personal campaigns. But first, what is an NPC? Well, basically, NPC stands for non-playable character. So every character in your world that is not being played by your players is an NPC. But to break this down even further, there are four main types of NPCs. Quest givers, who give out objectives or missions to your players. Allies and enemies, anyone who actively wants to help or hinder the party. Shopkeepers, people to sell goods or items to your party. And sources of information, these are the regular people in your world who tell the players information or give the general world building atmosphere. Now that we've broken down these archetypes, how do we go about making them more interesting? The best way to do this is by justifying their existence in your world. For example, why does the quest giver want to get a bunch of level 1 party members to help them out? Maybe this is due to desperation. Maybe he wants to trick the party and gives them a false quest. Maybe he wants other people to do the work for him because he's lazy. Well, now that we've given our NPCs a reason to exist, now we've got to find out how they fit the tone of the world. If you're running a grim underworld type campaign, then a Resident Evil 4 type of merchant may suit your campaign perfectly. But if you're running a cute whimsical Fae style campaign, then that merchant may not work for you, unless you want that juxtaposition. Having stylistic choice matters so much for NPCs, as they tell your players how to interact with your world and how to view your world. For example, you can run a dark fantasy world based on Old Yarnum, but if all the NPCs act like the kindest, happiest people you've ever met, then the players will view and roleplay that same kind of happy style in your world. This may be what you want, but it may be against what you want. It sort of depends what style of campaign you want to run. Knowing the style of campaign you want to run matters so much for NPC choice. I will be honest, I do now want to run a Care Bear Dark Souls campaign now, so... After saying this though, juxtaposition for NPCs in campaigns can be amazing, as having a character who doesn't fit the style can be really interesting. In a lot of campaigns which last nearly 100 hours, a completely different style NPC can be really refreshing, but the important thing is to use them sparingly, or else the style of your world can feel disjointed. Now, after talking about all this, I want to give you some weird NPCs that maybe you can put in your campaigns. The merchant, but this isn't a normal merchant. They will appear in every single town or every single city, no matter the distance or how long it takes. This can be a really fun character and can lead into a great story. How do they get there so fast? Is this a Nurse Joy type of situation, or is it just one guy? But you can push this even further. Maybe something's off about them. Why are they trying to get so much gold? Why do they only show up when the party shows up? Does anyone else see the shopkeeper? Maybe something really, really bad is happening. But it's probably nothing. The happiest man in the world. This NPC is the most positive and kind person the party will ever meet. The party could meet him by helping him fix his broken caravan. He will offer them a bed for the night, food, clothes, anything the party needs, however he does not have much. This NPC is great because so many campaigns never show good and kind NPCs, which I think is important to show that there are good sides in your world, but showing it in a kind of funny, whimsical way. This NPC is great in a dark fantasy world because the juxtaposition is so bizarre and can be really refreshing to the players, even if they don't trust him. The Quasit. Every campaign needs an annoying character. Most of the times, it's one of your players. You could outdo them with the Quasit. You can have the Quasit show up at any moment in your campaign trying to save the party and desperately failing and needing to be saved. The Quasit is incredibly dumb but wants to be the hero so desperately and so bad and will work their hardest to help out the party. It's funny how everyone will hate the character but slowly begin to love him when they do eventually help out, even if they never say it. The Immortal Pet. If one of your party members has a pet, you should try this as a DM. Every instance of danger, something will always happen to the pet, but it will always be completely fine. For this, let's use a mouse as an example. You walk through a kitchen, the mouse falls in a pot. You walk through the woods, a bird snatches it. But after a few seconds, the mouse will always be completely fine without a single scratch, making you wonder, is this a mouse? Or is it an eldritch god? So those were all my weird NPC ideas and my basic thoughts on NPCs in D&D. If you have any interesting NPCs you want to share, please leave them in the comments. So yeah, see ya and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching.